Hello, my name is Hinse, and my PowerPoint presentation is on engine identification. The engine I'll be doing is Briggs & Stratton. They're commonly used for both ride-on and push mowers, pressure washers, generators, and occasionally go-karts. The engine identification tag. It's a 3-part serial number. The first part is model number, which tells you a couple different things about the engine. Second part is engine type number, which tells you more things about the engine. And the third part is code number, which is basically the manufacturing date of the engine. Proper protective equipment when doing a maintenance on an engine could be wear safety glasses to prevent splashes or sparks into the eyes. Wear steel-toe boots or shoes to prevent your feet from being crushed if an engine ends up falling. Possibly wear gloves just in case you're working with harmful substance such as gasoline or antifreeze if you have a cut on your hand. And a couple different tools you might need on doing maintenance on an engine can be screwdrivers, socket set, wrenches, possibly a pair of needle nose pliers. And if you find any broken parts on the engine, make sure to replace them to prevent any further damage, such as a broken dipstick or a fouled plug. Cylinder block. Cylinder block is one of the main parts of the engine. This is where intake of fuel, compression, and burning of fuel take place. The main function is to guide the piston. The top of the head and the top of the cylinder head and the bottom of the crankcase are bolted into the cylinder block. Cylinder head. There are two parts in which on the head there are two ports on which the exhaust and exhaust port, which controls how the gases flow inside the engine. The main function of the engine is to seal the block and prevent leakage of extra gases. The head is usually created in one piece of material. A piston is basically a cup that transmits the thrust of the compressed gas into the connecting rod to the piston of the prime movers inside the engine, and the plain function is to tightly seal the cylinder through bore and should be able to slide freely as well inside the motor. Piston rings. Piston rings are basically snap rings that fit into the grooves on the piston head. The main function is to provide a good seal and create less friction between the parts, such as the piston and cylinder. Most 4-stroke engines have 3 rings, 2 compression rings, and 1 oil ring. 2-stroke engines only have 2 compression rings. Connecting rod. Connecting rods are used to connect the piston and the crankshaft together. There's 2 ends on the rod. One is the big end to connect to the crankcase. Another one is the small end, which is attached to the piston. The main function is to transmit the thrust and motion caused by the piston to the crankshaft. Oh no. Crankshaft. Crankshaft receives force that is applied by the piston to the connecting rod. The crankcase is mounted on 2 bearings that the crankshaft is mounted on two bearings for it to rotate freely without resistance. The main function of the crankshaft is to convert the reciprocating motion of the piston into rotary motion of the crankshaft to keep the engine moving. Engine bearings. There are two different types of bearings, which are sliding type, which could be used by attaching a connecting rod to the piston, and the second is rolling type, which can be used to support the crankshaft. Bearings are used to support moving parts inside the engine, except the main function is to reduce friction between these moving parts. Crankcase. The crankcase contains the crankshaft assembly and serves as a lubricating system for the engine. Most or if not all oil is located in here, and the crankcase is where the cylinder block is bolted to. Valves. The main function of the valve is to control the intake and exhaust flow of internal combustion engines. There's usually two valves per cylinder. One is for the inlet of fuel mixture and the other is for the exhaust gases. The number of valves per engine depends on the number of cylinders and the engine has, and these valves usually tend to open inwards towards the engine. Spark plugs. The main function of a spark plug is to conduct a high voltage from the ignition system into the combustion chamber to ignite the compressed air-fuel mixture. These plugs are usually fitted into the cylinder head. Injector. An injector sprays a formulated amount of fuel and air into the combustion chamber at the end of the compression stroke. This part is also fitted into the cylinder head. Manifold. There's usually two manifolds per engine. One is for the intake port and the other is for the exhaust. The main function of the manifold is to supply the air-fuel mixture and collect the exhaust equally across all cylinders. Camshaft. The main function of the camshaft is to exert pressure on the valves to open and close at a proper time. The valves should open at the end of the exhaust stroke and open at the end of the intake stroke because of the oval shape of the camshaft. Gideon pin or piston pin. A piston pin is basically a hardened steel spindle which is fitted into a small hole located on the bottom of the piston. The main function of this piston is to connect the piston to the connecting rod, and these pistons also help to allow the piston to swivel on the connecting rod so it does not damage the cylinder. Push rod. The main function of the push rod is to carry camshaft motion to the valves. When the camshaft is located on the bottom of the cylinder and the valves are on the cylinder head, push rod is used. Last part is flywheel. The main function of the flywheel is to rotate the crankshaft during the preparatory stroke to ensure all parts are moving so the engine can start the fourth stroke over again. The flywheel also helps make the crankshaft more uniform. That ends